No further abomination.
Oh.
Okay, it's cool. Morbius is with us now.
That's why I couldn't go with
us?
them.
You would bring a vampire into the Abbey?
Well, he's not a vampire. Not exactly.
If he was, he'd be dust.
He became this way because of an experiment gone wrong, not a bite from a vamp. He's his own master, right, Doc?
If I may, there are few judges of character better than Spider-Man.
Back me up here, Blade.
As much as I hate to admit it, we could probably use his help. This once.
Talk to Morbius. Alright.
Hunter, was it? Thank you for not making a bigger deal about my arrival. I know my presence unnerves many.
No, I'm not like them.
You surprised me earlier, and I do not like surprises. But any friend of Peter is a friend of mine.
I am relieved to hear it. You have a wonderful home and a great many resources. I look forward to making use of them.
How do you think you will help?
I am the world's foremost authority on vampire physiology. Blade knows a great deal about vampire rituals, habits, and social order, but he doesn't understand their biology.
Why should that matter?
In a sense, you could say Blade can take a vampire apart, but he can't put one back together.
I do not want to put vampires back together.
Of course not. Let me put it like this. If you understand the structure of an organism, you'll know its weak points, where to push so it falls apart. This is what I offer you.
Well, it's being pushy. Not really. Let's see how he handles jokes.
I'm all for pushing vampires. Off a cliff if possible.
As long as they don't turn into bats and fly away, that could work.
Only Dracula did that so far.
Ah, I see you really are a vampire expert.
I think you'll be happy to know that I've actually already started researching vampire biology.
That sounds like good news.
Unfortunately, I also have bad news. I've been tinkering with a prototype gamma serum that suppresses the effects of sunlight on vampiric membranes. The vampires have taken that from me.
Then we must take it back.
That is why I'm here. And I would love to get back to that research. Unless you have further need of me.
Questions?
I want to know a little more about you first.
Naturally. I am an open book.
I've heard you called a living vampire. What does that mean?
It means that unlike most vampires, I have a pulse.
How is this possible?
Most vampires are tied to the supernatural realm. They are undead creatures. My gifts are a boon of science. I am wholly unique in that way. Quite literally a freak of nature.
Who were you before you became a vampire?
I was born with a rare, degenerative blood condition. My disease would have proven fatal if I had not taken matters into my own hands and experimented on my body using vampire bat DNA. I cured myself, but there were side effects.
You seem to know Blade and Spider-Man well. What is your impression of them?
When I first became the living vampire, I struggled with my baser instincts. It took me a while to maintain control over my appetite. Spider-Man and Blade were the first two heroes I encountered, and they protected many innocent people from my wrath.
You mean they fought you?
Yes. But I am grateful because they encouraged me to become a better man. Though I wish Blade's approach hadn't been nearly so ferocious.
I would like to know more about your capabilities.
Like a traditional vampire, I possess enhanced strength, speed, and acute senses. An accelerated healing factor allows me to bounce back from otherwise mortal injuries. And while I cannot fly in the traditional sense, I have the psionic ability to glide over great distances.
Do you share other vampiric weaknesses?
One of the advantages of being a living vampire is that I do not have those Achilles heels. I could drink holy water all day, and a silver bullet stings like a lead one. One slight exception is daylight. I do not burn under the sun, but my eyes are sensitive to the light, and my powers are somewhat dampened during the daytime.
Do you have to consume blood like any other vampire?
Regrettably, not only do I need to consume human blood, I crave it. But you do not need to worry. I keep my cravings in check these days, and only feed on those who prey on others.
Never mind. I will let you settle in.
Happy to talk anytime.
New hero. Okay. Talking to Blade, I'm guessing. Talking to everybody, okay.
If Morbius is anything like Blade, I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
Of course.
As long as Morbius is around, Hunter, you better watch your back and your front.
Noted.
Blade, are you actually comfortable with Morbius living here?
Comfortable? I'll never be comfortable around that monster. But if I'm being generous, he could be useful.
I'll follow your lead. I never follow nobody's lead.
I am grateful to have another able warrior on our side.
You sound like Peter. Naive.
What exactly is your history with Morbius?
I don't like getting into that.
Of course.
But the two of you have fought before. What makes you think we can trust him now?
I never said we could trust him. If that man loses control to his bloodthirst, I'll end him myself. But the vampires are using his experiments against us. We need him to clean up his own mess.
So Morbius is just a tool to you?
Call it whatever you want. I call it practical.
I bet she takes his side.
Getting to know Blade has been nice. Maybe Morbius won't be so bad. Anything else on your mind?
What happens if Hydra successfully replicates Morbius's prototype sample?
Sunproof vampires seem like a bad idea for all involved.
Maybe not for the vampires.
For now, it's just a scary theory. Even if it works, there could be side effects, like new breed vampires bursting into flame upon contact with oxygen. Yeah, wishful thinking, but prototypes can be unpredictable. Just ask Hank Pym about Ultron.
Thanks, Carol.
See ya.
Blade warned me about Morbius, but I trust your judgment on this, Hunter.
What's the caretaker got to say?
We aren't running a home for wayward vampires, Hunter. I hope you know what you're doing.
Of course. I shouldn't expect anything different.
I'm the first guy who'll tell you not to judge a book by its cover, but a few of Morbius's pages are stuck together. I can't say more. Gotta keep it T-rated.
The Midnight Suns seem to attract people with complicated histories. Huh. Maybe Morbius belongs here.
Now I'm not the only one here who tried to kill Spider-Man. Is it weird that makes me feel good?
No.
Huh. I thought this place had already filled its quota for brooding weirdos.
Thanks for giving Morbius a shot, Hunter. I hope I didn't abuse your trust.
So Blade trusts Morbius? A vampire? Huh. Where are the flying pigs?
If Blade is worried about this guy, he must be dangerous. I want to see him in action.
Everybody else said their piece. I don't think Cap said anything.
Time flies when you're fighting demons. Hardly feels like 2
Maybe he
months
did
have
say
passed.
something, I don't know.
Sorry we didn't give you a heads up before. You know, about bringing a vampire into the Abbey. It all happened kind of fast.
Are you sure we can trust Morbius?
Yeah. Morbius has his demons, but he's a teddy bear. A snarly teddy bear. With fangs. But there's stuffing in there, somewhere.
This is not helping your argument.
What I'm trying to say is that Morbius has a good heart. And exceptionally good blood.
Good blood?
Yeah. Whatever Morbius did to transform his body infused the heme in his blood with curative properties. I'd love to help him study it further, if I ever have the time. Since we're fighting new breed vampires, we'd do well to have a living vampire in our corner.
Okay. We got more. Of course, he's in the Science Bros lab.
What's shaking, Bacon?
Don't say that. The Science Bros.
Doctor, meet the doctor. Now, the Abbey has as many PhDs as you'd find on your average golf course.
We've met. Dr. Morbius. So good to see you again.
Why is Bruce not
Doctor
over here?
Strange, still patrolling the spiritual realm, I see.
And he's wearing his...
I'd love to get set up as quickly as possible in here. Start learning the lay of the land so I can help out.
Set up your little test tubes anywhere you'd like. Just don't touch any of my stuff.
And there are several mystical artifacts in here that no one should look at directly.
Don't look and don't touch. You really know how to make a colleague feel at home.
Just remember that's only an expression. And you don't actually own any of this.
But we really are glad to have you.
I can tell.
So, another vampire-ish teammate. Good thing I have a fang-proof turtleneck.
I look forward to catching up with Dr. Morbius. He can be quite pleasant. On occasion.
I should set up my lab sooner than later. Spider-Man told me the Forge is roomy and bickery.
How does Bruce feel about this?
It could be nice to have another scientist in the Forge.
Alright. First, you.
Tony, what is your impression of Morbius?
Well, we've never actually met, but Strange talks highly of him.
I am uncomfortable inviting a vampire to live in the Abbey.
Hey, I know what you mean. Half the people on my board of directors are vampires. Not literal bloodsuckers, but they definitely try to sink their teeth into you. Or your pocketbook.
Maybe.
The guy's a freak, no doubt. But every genius is. You should have seen half my professors back at MIT. Or that Tony Stark guy who's always in the news. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've read a few of Morbius's papers on DNA manipulation, and it's years ahead of anyone else. He could be a valuable asset.
So you think we can trust him?
Well, I never said that. But he could be useful.
Stephen, have you worked with Morbius before?
Oh, yes. He is a formidable ally. He once assisted me in a battle against a Fear Lord from the Dream Dimension.
Fear Lords are powerful foes.
Yes, it was a boisterous battle, so I was pleased to have Morbius at my side. Undoubtedly, he will be a favorable ally against Lilith as well.
So you have no reservations about letting him stay in the Abbey?
None at all. As long as he doesn't grow too hungry, we'll all be fine.
Wait, what should we do if he gets hungry?
We should all be on guard.
Stephen, I need details.
As with any vampire, he could lose control and eat every one of us, but I do not think that will happen.
You don't think?
Checking in on me already, Hunter? I haven't had time to get into trouble.
You can never be sure.
I suppose. What can I do for you?
Nothing.
Never mind. I will let you settle in.
Happy to talk anytime. Yes?
Never mind. I will let you settle in.
Happy to talk anytime.